Hey guys, what's up? And yes, I know it's a shock to see me making a video again. And I've made a decision about videos that I may make in the future, and I will get to that right now. Actually, I was gonna do it later, but I'll shoot it right now. I'm probably not gonna be doing mini rants anymore because most of the subjects that I was planning on touching up on for God knows how long now have been done to death by hundreds of people. There's no point in doing it. No one's gonna see it. No one's gonna think differently. It was fun back in when did I come here? 07, I think. 08, I think 08. Anyway, it's old. I mean, it's a lost form of video making. No one really watches them anymore unless they're YouTube partners or whatever. What I'm gonna do from here on out primarily is opinionated videos, like videos that express my views on things that are new, things that have just come out, as far as anything. Games, TV shows, movies, all that kind of stuff. And for my maiden voyage for this kind of video, and it's not going to be a review either, because it doesn't really qualify as one, it's just reviews. It's going to have spoilers, so spoiler alert. Anyway, this is going to be my views about Duke Nukem Forever, a game that after 14 years has finally been out for about 8 days now. I myself got the Balls of Steel edition. I got all my extra crap up there. I may show it to you now, I may not, I haven't really decided. But, wow, this game is finally out. After going through 3 or 4 different engines, God knows how many gaming companies helping to make this, it's finally out. And was it all worth it? I mean, was it just, as Randy Pitchford advertises, the best thing since sliced bread? Well, I'll go ahead and say no, it's not. I love this game, yes. I mean, it's probably because I'm probably one of the biggest Duke Nukem fans I know of. I played Duke Nukem 3D more times than I can count. I do love this game for one thing, just bringing the character back. It's nice to see the guy back. The game is fun. It has flaws. A lot of them. Some of which are borderline game-ruining flaws. But, luckily, some of the flaws that are game-ruining they're not that prevalent. Thankfully. Anyway. So the game's out. What's to like about it? Well, for one thing, again, it brings Duke Nukem back. I mean, we haven't seen this guy in a memorable game since Duke Nukem 3D. I'm not counting Duke Nukem 1 or 2. I don't count the PlayStation, the third-person shooters like 0 Hour and Time to Kill and whatever else there was. Manhattan Project, that building jumping mirror's edge weird mess. I mean, some of those are fun. I heard the third-person shooter ones were pretty fun, the PlayStation ones. But none of them lived up to Duke 3D, I don't think. I mean, that game was that Duke Nukem game, and just the game period was the best, one of the best first-person shooters ever made, I think. It's up there with Doom and Quake and all those games. It's fast-paced, it's fun, it's easy to learn, it's challenging for the right reasons. Tons of different weapons, great level design. 4 different chapters, at least for the Atomic Edition, which is the edition that's on the Xbox Arcade. And, it's just fun. I love playing it. I mean, I could play the whole game in a day. That's how addicting it is. But this game is finally out, and it's definitely different from Duke 3D. All of us with brain cells would have expected that. I mean, how can I word this without hurting people's feelings? Fuck it, I'll hurt their feelings, I don't give a shit. The people who were just trying to hype this game up so bad and defend the hype were fooling themselves from day one. And whether they knew that or not doesn't change the fact. And they're the ones who are most disappointed, well duh. I mean, they're expecting a game that's going to top Duke 3D. I mean, seriously? I'm sorry for the glare, it's my desktop image. Seriously? To top Duke 3D? I mean, do you realize how amazing this game would have had to have been for that to happen? I mean, think about it. Anyway, so the game comes out. It's getting some pretty negative reviews. Some people like it, some people dislike it, some people love it, some people hate it. And there's a lot of reviews out there for it. I myself don't really listen or watch so-called professional reviews anymore because they piss me off, really. Like IGN, all they do nowadays is cock-ride Call of Duty. If this game is not like Call of Duty, they're going to hate it. Plain and simple. But what are some good things about this game? For one thing, it is challenging. For both the right reasons and the wrong. And I'll get to those in just a bit. It's got some good weapons, a lot of which, pretty much all of them are from Duke 3D, just they function a bit differently. There's a ton of features in it. There's tons of fun little games you can play, which they probably put a little too much focus on instead of making the game itself more playable in some places. But they were dicking around. I mean, they're a fun company. I bet they were having a lot of fun with it. And that's all that really matters, I mean, the people who are expecting it to be just the greatest thing since sliced bread, I don't like those people. I don't like them at all. And what are the good things? The weapons are good. The challenge is good. The game is also pretty long. It's not too short, which I love for that. I haven't tried the multiplayer yet, but I've heard it's probably not worth playing, honestly. But the cons. For one thing, like I said earlier, this game went through several different engines. Duke 3D was on an engine called Build. Then this game originally started on the Quake 1 engine. This game was first announced, production for, in 97 or 98, one of the two. It started on the Quake 1 engine. So it may have been 96, I know Quake 2 came out in 97, but it eventually went to the Quake 2 engine, and I love Quake 2. That game's engine was smooth running, it was awesome. This game would have kicked ass on the Quake 2 engine. I mean, even on the Quake 1 engine. The Quake engines were great. Smooth running, very, very fluent gameplay, everything. Then they decided to go to the more realistically themed Unreal Engine, like Killzone style. The movement system is really, it's realistic, I get it, it's 2011, you want it to be more realistic. I guess I can agree with that to an extent. But at times the movement is really just awkward. Aiming, especially on the 360 version, is also really awkward, which is weird because this controller is great for first-person shooters. I mean, it feels really smooth. I mean, this controller is worn out to hell. The left thumbstick has so much wear and tear on it, it's not even funny. The D-pad is just... Well, let's be honest, the D-pad on this controller has always sucked ass. And I mean ass. Again, the challenge is good, but sometimes for the wrong reasons. For example, one level called Crash Course. And I bet everyone who's played this game knows exactly what I'm getting at. The turret battle. Dear God, what was Gearbox thinking when they put that part in the game? Why are there no checkpoints during the battle? Why are the ships the size of breadcrumbs and you're expected to shoot them down so early? Why are they allowed to fly around? Why is your ship immobile and theirs aren't? Why is it so long? The battle is 2.5 minutes, and there's no checkpoints during it. So you will die and die and die and have to sit through con number 2 or 3, the load times. This game's load times are unacceptable. It's like, 45 seconds? Seriously? For what? What is this game loading that is taking 45 seconds? I have seen games that looked graphically, and this game graphically looks like kind of Doom 3-ish, which was out in 2004? Or Quake 4, which was out in 2006, 7, 8? I don't know what year. I don't keep up with years. But I don't care about graphics. But seriously, for a game that was hyped so much, it could have looked a lot better. It should have. So what's it loading? I mean, surely graphics that look like this game's do not take 45 seconds. So what? Why? Did they want us to listen to the theme music and watch the little radioactive symboled searchlights going round your screen while all those useless little obvious messages appear at the bottom of the screen? Is that what they were doing? Because let me tell you, if you're on a hard section that does not have any checkpoints until after you've beaten it, which, trust me, on this game there's plenty of those, and you die over and over again, those load times will be permanently etched into your brain. Permanently. So, the load times are hideous. The movement is awkward at most times. The gunplay, the aiming takes a while to get used to. Once you get used to it, it's fine, but it takes a while to get used to. And, the driving, oh, please, God, if there is a sequel to this, which I'm hoping there is, because they have a chance to really improve upon this one, please do not put any more driving stages. Those are the worst, one of the worst stages. The driving's really weird. It's like the right trigger, which is usually the fire button, accelerates. The left thumbstick steers, and then you have B for the brake, or for the monster truck, B is for the 4-wheel drive mode, which you will hardly ever use unless you're just hauling ass the whole way. A is turbo boost. I mean, it sounds fun on paper, but it's not. I mean, it's fun for the first 2 minutes, like when you're there's a point in the game where you're shrunk and you get to drive this kid's RC car. It's fun for that part, but then you come to it again and you're like, why? And don't worry, the game's in my Xbox, not in the case. Why was that put in? I know they were going for something different, but they could have definitely improved on that. I mean, in all seriousness. One thing that really annoys me the most is that most of the people who review this negatively, some are justified, some actually make good points, but some just rant and rave and be the most nitpicky people. I swear I've never seen so many people nitpick so much on one game. On one hand, I can kind of understand it because it's 14 years in the making, and we get, at best, a decent game. Fun, mainly because, for one, it's Duke Nukem, his name is back, and it's something different to play. Because God knows the last game that I bought was leaps and bounds below this. Brink? Yeah, the game that looked awesome and ended up blowing ass. I'm actually contemplating taking that game back, and I usually never take games back. But that game failed so badly. It's not even funny, and I'll get to that later. But, you know, I'll try to get to a conclusion. The game is fun. Some of the boss fights are really fun, but some are just overly hard. There is one in particular, the Octa King, who's 2 rounds, no less. The first round you get used to, it's not that bad, but the second round, you have to figure out a strategy and memorize it, and it will still take you some time. Not on the lower 2 difficulties, maybe, but on the higher 2, definitely. Especially on Insane or Damn I'm Good. At least the difficulty levels are still named the same, which I find pretty cool. But some more cool things. This game is comedy. Oh my god, this game is not short of comedy. There are one-liners, sexual innuendo. I mean, look at this. Look at this rating. Look at that. Blood and gore, intense violence, mature humor, nudity, strong language, strong sexual content. They could have just put, "Hey, bitches, it's Duke Nukem. If you're not 17, you ain't getting this unless your mommy or daddy buys it for you." That's one thing I like. They kept the humor, but they went overboard with it, I thought. I mean, you'll see why if you play it. But bottom line, the game is definitely flawed in several places. But every game has its flaws. But if you can get past at least most of them, this game is definitely fun. It's decent. It's good to some people. I think it's good. Do I think it's great? No. Good as far as I'll go. Is it the best ever? Oh dear God, please. If you think this is the best ever, go play Duke 3D. You will love it so much better. And if you have and you still think it's the best ever, then you're beyond help. I'm sorry. But bottom line, the game is fun. It's something different to play. It's Duke Nukem. He's finally back, and you know, I can only hope where Gearbox goes now that they have the rights. I mean, and Randy Pitchford did work for 3D Realms, so I mean, he's been with both companies. And Gearbox makes great games. I mean, I can tell you right now, I cannot wait for Borderlands 2. Because oh my god. If Borderlands were a woman, I would do such naughty, naughty things to it. Naughty, depressing, indescribable things. Anyway, before I creep anyone else out, this game is good. Score-wise, I'd say at the lowest 6.5 maybe. Highest 7.5, maybe 8, maybe. That's even a stretch. I wanted to like this game more, but I do still like it. I mean, I'm a Duke fan through and through. I'm glad I bought this game. It's fun, hard, definitely. If you're looking for a challenge, this is definitely the game for you. Even if it is for some of the wrong reasons, it's still a challenge, regardless. And it's a game that, you know, it's definitely fun to play. I'm glad I got it, and, you know, people can just try to learn to look past its flaws, and if they can't, that's fine, but that's just what I think of it. I am glad it's finally out, I can tell you that much. So, that ends my video. I hope it didn't go overboard. I don't want to have to record this again, but I might have to. So, until next time, see you around.